Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in Rocket Pool and Ethereum. My name is Wack. Today is July 8th, and today's episode is going to cover the grants round closing, the latest one from the GMC, big deposit into Rocket Pool. We're going to be talking about a prediction thread. We're also going to have the raffle for submissions. On the Ethereum side, we're going to be talking about strategies, multiple plural strategies, and how hyped they are, and then a whole lot more as well. So let's get started.
10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
Okay, so the place to start here today is with Rocket Pool news, and that is with the latest GMC round closing. And this was round 26, and it closed yesterday in July 7th. It was open for a month, and the new round is now open, 27. This time we had patches. We had with the Rocket Rescue Node update grant. We had Ken with some community call stuff. We had Ken with more community call stuff. We had Tighty with upgrade of a Dune dashboard for Saturn 1. And then we had a new grant application for me for Rocket Fuel as well. So yeah, it was a slightly more active round than recent ones. But then there's Schifrin who messaged to say that this was closed, and then decisions I think will be due in a couple of weeks' time. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And like I said, the next grant is already open. So if you want to put a grant forward for round 27, that is open now. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's move back to the Rocket Pool Discord. And here we had a nice deposit into the deposit pool, and this deposit was for over 1,000 ETH. It was 1,292 ETH. So this person, used that ETH to mint our ETH, which was nice because it cleared 41 mini pools from the queue, which of course is really, really awesome to see. We don't see these splashes so much nowadays, so it's really, really nice to see the whale splash. And yeah, that's really nice to see the whale splash. And if we actually have a look at the validators in the queue right now, we'll see that we have less than 100 validators in line. The queue was 100. I think it's down to around 60 right now. And then we can also see that the queue wait time is actually really low. It was, a couple of days ago up to about 14 days, but now it's gone down to I think like 6 or 7 days, which is really good. Yeah, it's a shame that more validators aren't coming online, but I guess people are now waiting for Saturn 1 because they'd have to exit their validators anyway. I think it's still profitable to start staking now and waiting in the queue to start staking, because the gas is so low that it can be profitable within a number of days. So then you could just exit before Saturn 1 and then do that way. But hey, it's up to the people to decide. But yeah, the queue is moving, so that of course is always nice to see. Okay, there was a discussion going on in trading today, and people were like, talking about RPL price, etc. And Schifrin made a new thread under trading called Rocket Pool Prediction Contest. So this is the high price for RPL and ETH during Q4 of 2025. So that'll be, October, November, December, I guess from October 1st to December 31st. And the people who get closest to the price for RPL will win 12 RPL, and the people who get closest to the price for ETH will win 5 RPL. So there's 17 RPL up for grabs, which currently stands at around $75. And hopefully, if some of these predictions come right, it will be worth a considerable amount more. So people started posting their price threads, the prices. Lee, posted $18.43, and ETH was 4,096. And then the others started coming in. The most bullish price for ETH I've seen so far is 26,000, I think, or 25,000, somewhere around there. I think it was Drez. Yeah, Drez 26,317. That's really nice. The most bullish RPL price I've seen so far is from Ishka, 139. But yeah, like that's pretty nice. So there's there's some nice price predictions here. It's going to be really interesting to see who wins out. But there's some bullish and some less bullish prices here. For example, this one from Patches is $5 RPL and $2,400 ETH. So yeah, but other people are a little bit more bullish. It seems like most people are bullish ETH, and sadly, I think the RPL price has just traumatized people for a long time, and the RPL price is higher on the ratio, but not, like at 0.01 or anything like that. Like there's not many people predicting really high numbers like that. Even Halulo here has $3,800 ETH and $12.45 RPL. So yeah, my prediction, I don't know. I'm just the way I'm feeling right now. I said 6,850 ETH and $29.45 RPL. That's only because RPL was at $29 seemingly for like months a couple of years ago, last year, whenever it was. So I'm just kind of like, going back to those times. But I think that works out to be something like a 0.0045 ratio, somewhere kind of around there. I think the peak of RPL will be higher, but that I think will come in Q1 of 2026 with the Saturn 1 release, the Saturn 2 release. I just think that the hype will kind of build up for RPL, and hopefully, there'll be inflows of our ETH, and that would, of course, be really, really nice. Okay, let's move on to some strategy news. So I feel like this is going to be one of those things that we're going to be talking about quite a lot on Rocket Fuel in the coming days and weeks. So Fabrice here had an update for SharpLink, that's SBET, saying that they have bought 7,689 ETH for 19.2 million, average price of $2,501 per ETH. So now they have a total holding of 205,634 ETH, and they also earned 322 ETH in staking rewards. So that's actually really nice little income for them. And then that was like quoted from this update from the SBET page themselves. But I really like these little like fireworks, confetti that you get with the Strategic ETH Reserve website. So that's the really nice little graphics they have there. And then BTCS here have put out an announcement as well today, saying that they have announced this strategic intent to raise $100 million before the end of the year, so the next 6 months, to acquire Ethereum and support its growth of its first infrastructure, its ETH first infrastructure model. So they're trying to get a flywheel going here of share appreciation, leading to strategic capital raise, leading to more ETH being accumulated, which will then generate revenue. So they'll be building it using it in DeFi. It's like staking, so it says earn ETH and revenue by staking, and they'll also be driving revenue by building blocks validators, and then that will increase their share appreciation, which will then get that flywheel going, which is pretty cool. And this is, of course, something that you can't get with the BTC one, right? There's no native yield for BTC. Whereas you can use ETH in DeFi, you can use ETH in staking, which seems to be the choice that these companies are taking here. And then with these acquisitions, it looked like it was a really bullish day for these ETH treasuries today. And this was David Hoffman earlier sharing a screenshot of SBET, BTBT, which is Bit Digital, and BTCS, all having really, really great days. The BTCS stock price actually went gangbusters over the course of the day. So when David Hoffman shared that screenshot, it was at $3 and 27 cents, and then it actually ended the day. It closed the market at an astonishing $5.91. It actually went a little bit higher than that after the close to $6.47. But that was up over 100% today. So it just had an absolute like storming day. Let me see the SBET price as well, because I think that had a really good day as well. So yeah, that went up 30% today to 16.29. And if you actually have a look, just last week it was below $10. So, I'm not giving financial advice or anything like that, but it looks like that little bit of FUD that came out, after they got the listing going, is I think behind them now, and the prices has had a very, very good day. And BT as well is up 7% today. It actually had a spike in the morning, which I guess is when David Hoffman took his screenshot, and then since then it's retraced a little bit, but it's had a very, very strong past five days, up 70% basically in that time, from around $2.30 all the way up to pretty much peaking at $4, which is just fantastic. So yeah, this is the first round of hype for these treasury companies, and I think that as the ETH price goes up, these are just going to go even stronger. And then we actually got a new entrant today, GameSquare. So the ticker here is Game, and that has unveiled a $100 million ETH strategy, and they raised $8 million already, and their shares are up 60% today, which again is a huge amount. So yeah, this I think now is the fifth ETH treasury play, and I think that it's just going to. I wouldn't be surprised if we see more. The thing that's going to be interesting is how these companies are going to raise their capital, and I think it might take some time for them to raise capital. I think they're going to kind of be competing with each other. I think there isn't going to be too much that sets them apart. For that reason, I think SBET and BTBT, and that's because Joe Lubin is with SBET and Tom Lee is with BTBT. I think those two have the chance to pull ahead of the others just because of those brand names, those key figures that are attached to them. But it's going to be really interesting to see how it works out. In some ways, it might be better if you just had one, but hey, now we've got five, and if they're all planning on raking in cash, then I'm not going to complain. So these guys are, stacking millions of dollars worth of ETH right now. And then if you also have a look at the ETFs, they had another big day yesterday with $60 million of inflow, and that goes, on July 3rd, that was the third highest day ever of inflows, $148 million. So this isn't showing signs of slowing down at the moment either. So there's some really, really big stuff happening. I think it's only a matter of time before the sheer purchasing power that's happening right now doesn't start showing on the markets. I guess right now they're buying OTC, they're buying from OTC desks, and once those guys get low on supply or people don't want to sell at those prices anymore, all of this millions of dollars of ETH will be market bought, which is going to be very fun. Okay, so now there's a chance, for friendly competition between these companies, and Ryan Sean Adams is kind of like egging them on. So he says, who'll be the first public treasury with $1 billion in ETH? So SBET just cleared $500 million. So they're the ones that have got a big lead right now, with their 205,000 ETH. However, I wouldn't be surprised if BTBT kind of push on with this as well and try to catch up a little bit. But yeah, this is the nice kind of competition that you want going between these different companies. You want them to kind of egg each other on and kind of make it a friendly competition, and just like spur each other on to accumulate more and more ETH. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of ETH accumulated with these guys. And it's not just these companies that are saying that they're accumulating ETH. More and more ETH protocols and teams are coming out, built on Ethereum, are coming out and saying that the ETH they're holding is for their personal treasury and they don't have any intention of selling it. So here Fabrice shares a post about Frax, and they said that Frax has joined the Strategic ETH Reserve with 23,210 ETH in their treasury, which is actually a really, really big amount of ETH. So Frax has their Layer 1 stablecoin, they have their Layer 2, and they have the network as well, where you can mint, redeem, and earn. So they're going big as well. So yeah, that's really, really cool. Now, what's happened here, as you can see on the strategic reserve, is that number of ETH just keeps growing every day. So these are from companies who are purchasing it, also companies who are declaring that they're holding it in a strategic manner. So they're getting added to this list. But Frax actually has gone up all the way to number 11, and it's ahead of Arbitrum and all these other L2s. So they're pushing up for those higher spots, and hopefully they can all of these can just keep growing and getting more and more ETH. But yeah, that's pretty really, really great. Okay, so to counter the flows that we've been getting, it looks like we're actually getting more and more shorts coming onto the market as well. Now, this is a little bit complicated in terms of what it means, and this is CME shorts. So you have to understand that I think what's happening here is this is part of a carry trade. So the carry trade is basically that you go long an asset. So people would be going long the ETH ETFs basically, and then you go long by buying it basically, and then what you do is you short it at one-time leverage on the CME, basically to be safe, and then if the price goes up, you're fine. If the price goes down, you're fine. You're hedged both ways. And then what happens is you actually just keep the difference in the fees. So you actually can get paid to go short, and they're taking that fund for them. So they're taking that fund for themselves as a carry trade. Now, what could happen here is if any of these people are leveraged at higher levels instead of just 1x, then the scope for getting blown up here is really, really huge, really, really huge. And they would get blown up by getting liquidated, and that then would be forced to buy that ETH on the market. So with shorts basically at the second highest rate ever on the CME, there's a chance here that some of these shorts can get blown up really badly. And yeah, that would be very, very exciting. So there's some talk here, Artchick says last time ETH shorts reached this level, the price pumped 120% in the week. So yeah, I'm not saying that we are going to get 120% pump in a week, but I feel like things are kind of lining up in a certain way where sentiment is just there's hope coming back to Ethereans right now, and that I think is really exciting. Okay, Ethereum Twitter account put out this really cool post about the DeFi mullet. And this DeFi mullet is this idea. I first came across it on Bankless. I don't know who actually invented it. And the idea was that basically you have TradFi in the front and then Party in the back. And the idea is that, you have a TradFi front-facing company, and then on the back end, they are going and doing DeFi stuff. And with that DeFi stuff, they are passing on some of those yields and earnings to their customers, who are doing much better than any TradFi kind of vehicles because, the yields on chain are way better. So this idea of DeFi mullet is that, Wall Street basically and all these TradFi companies can now come on chain through different wrappers. So if they could do that, then that would be huge. So this is a guest thread on the Ethereum Twitter account from Paul Frambot, I think who is the co-founder of Morpho Labs, and he basically says things like fintech companies own their distribution but not the financial infrastructure their apps are built on. That's like legacy infrastructure. So what he thinks will happen is DeFi mullet is that users will interact with fintech companies, and then they will go and use Ethereum DeFi in the back. And that will basically scale Ethereum adoption, but also make it more accessible for people who don't want to come on chain themselves. They'll be doing it through this fintech wrapper. So this is a lot more efficient than there's 4 advantages. There's more efficiency for people who don't want to come on chain. It's easy and flexible integrations. There's transparency, and there's end-to-end control. And then it just kind of explains all those different steps. But yeah, this is, I think, one of the ways that this will be happening. And Morpho here are saying it's already in action with Coinbase. So they have crypto-backed loans powered by Morpho. And this is one of the most successful DeFi mullets in production. So what happens is people go to Coinbase and they say that they want to take a loan against their crypto. And then Coinbase goes to Morpho and takes a loan out on their behalf against their crypto. So they've already got 9,100 borrowers. They've got $510 million worth of crypto deposited and 860 millions worth of CBTC collateral. So yeah, this is the first large scale DeFi wallet, but I think they think it's going to be there's going to be a lot more of this happening in the months and years to come. And the main thing, of course, the main reason why this is happening is because there has been a huge regulatory kind of permission given for this to happen. And it looks like some of these fintech companies are going to really thrive with this. Okay, to finish up the Ethereum section, there was a little bit of a funny post here. Well, kind of funny, not funny, but Cointelegraph here put out a post saying that the Tesseract CEO James Harris says ETH is one of our top conviction picks for this year, and it looks set to hit $160,000 by the end of the year. And then they have an article that they link to. So this caught a lot of buzz on crypto Twitter, and people were kind of joking about it and posting about it. Sadly, the actual post isn't as funny as huge as the quoted tweet was, but here the person says that he expects ETH to go up 160% instead of up to $160,000. So he thinks that it'll go to about $6,500 by the end of 2025. So yeah, that was a little bit funny. So I thought I'd end the episode of the ETH section with that. We've got some other news now. A member of the Rocket Pool community, Samus, shared a picture of his baby, saying that he is a dad now, which is absolutely lovely to see. I just set up a little thread, so if you want to say congrats to Samus, you can say congrats to Samus in this thread, and then you hopefully should be able to get a POAP. I tagged Schifrin and Sleety and Dr. Doofus, so if one of them can make a POAP for Samus, that would be really nice. But yeah, if you put your kind words in that thread, that would, I think, be really nice. And yeah, I think Samus would like that. Okay, and I missed this yesterday, but we get it today. This is the raffle for June, and here Halululo made this text output for me to share that, and we see that Samus had 12 tickets, Sneaky had 10 tickets, I had 5 tickets, Blue AVM had 4, Schifrin had 4, and then S-Jaws had 2, Jasper had 2, Mig had 2, then Woodenship had 2, Vaka, Regex, Buster, Chaos, Halululo, and Neverland Island had 1 each. So yeah, that was cool. Now the way that it was set up, he got it to work, so I could just copy and paste the information into the raffle bot, and it should work nicely. So let's have a look at who won prizes. So we're pasting the tickets here, and the numbers look right. So let's have a look. Samus came first. Congrats, Samus. Then Schifrin, Sneaky Ninja Guy, Jasper the Friendly Ghost, Chaos, Blue AVM, Whack. So I don't get a prize. S-Jaws, Mig the Good Overlord, and Wooden Ship. So those are the 9 prizes that go there, and then the 10th prize goes to Halululo, which of course is really cool to see. I think I don't have addresses for everyone, but I'll check to make sure. But if I don't have addresses for you, I'll be reaching out to you soon. Otherwise, hopefully I'll send out that money really, really soon. Maybe I'll make it a personal best and even send it out today. One can hope. But yeah, next month, I think that the price is going to be reduced. So right now I pay out $1,000 a month. I think that amount is going to be reduced to $500 or something like that, potentially. And what I will do is, I'm not sure if it's going to be 5 prizes of $100 or 10 prizes of $50 or something like that. I still need to work it out. Like I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work. But for those of you who follow along with the raffle, I just want you to know that next month it is likely that the raffle amount might change. It's not guaranteed yet, but there's a chance that it will change. So I just wanted you all to know that. But anyway, on that note, I'm going to end today's episode. So thank you all for watching, listening, and being part of the Rocket Fuel community. I hope you all have a lovely day ahead, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.